Well, it certainly is going to have an impact on the global economy and global liquidity. But let's remember, why the Fed is raising interest rates. They'll be raising rates because the US economy is doing a bit better, and certainly that will that process is going to affect those parts of the world that have been relying on US on the global liquidity being flush. But actually, the different parts of the world have different liquidity cycles. And interestingly, the question, of course, in India going forwards is when do interest rates start to come down, rather than will US policy rate hikes push interest rates up in India. So the liquidity environment does depend on where you are in the world. India has stood out over the last few years because it's had a higher inflation rate than elsewhere, and that's pushed up Indian bond yields relative to those in the US. US yields have fallen over the last 5 years. Indian bond yields have crept higher over the last 5 years. But now we're seeing very much a change in tone, we think, from Indian policymakers who are looking to tackle inflation. Mr. Rajan at the RBI has kept monetary policy tight, despite growth being a bit softer than expected in prior quarters. And from the government's perspective, they've moved aggressively to try and prevent monsoon-related pressures on agricultural supply from breaking through to much higher inflation. And ultimately, we think the work of the government and the RBI together will actually bring inflation down over the next 18 months, and that will create some space for lower interest rates. Well, we tend to take a little bit more of a softer view on growth on average in FY15 and on average in FY16. We've penciled in, say, 5.3% this year and 5.5% next. So not arguing for growth to soar above 6%. Now, there may be the occasional quarter that makes it up there, but as a whole, we're not expecting the average to be that strong. Why not? Because we think the authorities are focused on getting inflation under control first, and that is a very important building block to getting a sustained acceleration in growth further down the line. So there's that, and there's also the need for balance sheet repair in the economy as well. So we're not quite so positive on growth rapidly accelerating in the immediate future. We instead look for the building blocks to be built very solidly by getting inflation down first.